Welcome to How to Cook That. I'm Reardon, and after many requests, today I'm making Olaf the snowman from the movie Frozen. I am making this one quite small. You can enlarge it to any size you like, and I'll give you tips for that as we go. To start with, print out Olaf in the size that you want your cake to be. This one, where he stands on one foot, works well because you can run a cake spike right down the centre to keep him stable. The cake spike has to be firmly attached to your cake board because if it's unstable, so will your cake be. So I'm using a hot glue gun here just to give it that extra connection so that it doesn't move at all. Next, take your printout and find 3 circle objects in your kitchen that match the width of each body section. The one you use for the middle, you can also use for the top of the head as well. Whenever I make a cake, people always ask, can I use a packet cake mix or can I use a store-bought cake? So today I'm using a store-bought cake to answer that question. Personally, I don't think they taste as good, but yes, you can use them. For an Olaf that is about 20 centimetres tall, you'll need 3 20-centimetre round cakes. Take 2 of your cakes and cut 2 of your larger circles, which are for the bottom section. You should be able to get the large one and one smaller one out of one of them, and then just cut the one larger one out of the other one. Stack up your 2 bigger ones, tip them on the side, and check that they're tall enough for that section of the body. Then take another cake and cut out 2 circles in the size of the head, and this will form the main bulky part of the head, but then you need to cut another smaller circle from the leftover cake for the top bit of the head. Then we're going to use the cake scraps to cut out your feet. To do that, I didn't have a circle the right size, so I just got the printout, cut it the right width, and then turned it, cut it the right width again so you've got a square, and then cut the corners off to round it out. And repeat that for the other foot. Starting with your head pieces, place the printout over the top of your cake and then looking at it from directly above, cut off the cake that you can see so that you're left with the shape of his face. Then stand it up and round off the front where the top of his cheeks are when he's smiling. Add the filling of your choice. I'm using lemon butter because I think it goes well with the frosting I'm using, and then put them back together. Now towards the back we need to add the top of the head section. So place the template over the top piece and trim each side. Then cut a chunk on an angle just like I'm doing here so that there's room for the eyeballs to fit into the head. Add some more lemon butter and place it on the top of the head at the back of the cake. Now for the middle body section. My piece of cake was from the side of the cake, so it's already angled down like the body is. If yours isn't, just cut a piece off to angle it down. Then place the template over the top and trim it to size. Then use your knife to round off all the edges so it looks like a snowball. For the main part of the body, join the 2 circles of cake together using lemon butter, tip it on the side and cut around the body shape, folding up the foot as you go, and then turn the cake 90 degrees and trim the sides to match what you've just done. If you don't trust yourself doing this freehand, then you can just use the template again, placing it over the top and trimming it off. Then have a look at your shape and shave off tiny bits of cake at a time until it's rounded all the way round and looks like the body. Now for our feet. Trim around the edges of the base section just to round it off, and then place it up against your template and cut it to the right height. And do that for both of your feet. And now we're ready to assemble our Olaf. Firstly, add the foot, and then you really need to add a support in here next. I didn't do that because the cake was getting eaten straight after it was made, but even then I probably should have added it in. So make sure you do add a support. If you don't know how to do that, watch the Minion cake video and it will show you how to do that. Place the template in front to see what angle the body goes on, and then slide that down into place. So your support should sit there just between the body and the foot. Then add a little bit of lemon butter and slide on the middle section. And then finally add the head. I've put mine on a slightly straighter angle than the printout had it because that makes it a little bit more stable. Now we want to cut out some cake where his mouth goes. So just look at your printout to see whereabouts his mouth goes. Cut a line going across on a slight upwards angle and then chunk it up on an angle to take out his mouth section. Now to make the frosting of your choice, I'm using Italian meringue because it's white like snow, and the recipe for that is on my video 7 different frosting recipes. I'll put a link to that video and the minion cake one in the description below for you. Once it's light and fluffy, then spread a really thin coat all over the cake, and this is just to catch all the crumbs so that when we put on our next coat we don't get cake crumbs through it, which makes it not look like snow. Add a generous second coat of frosting and then smooth it out as best you can. This can be a bit tricky, and I like to use a piece of plastic and then just drag it up, because you can bend it around the body and drag it around to smooth it out. Once you've smoothed it, then use a knife or a palette knife to indent around each snowball join to make the body sections clear. Cover the other foot in frosting on the top and sides, add it to the cake, and then put your Italian meringue on the bottom of the foot as well. Keep the leftover frosting as you'll need some more of it later, so don't get rid of it just yet. Now place some chocolate melts in the microwave on full heat for 30 seconds, stir it, 20 seconds, stir it, and then bursts of 10 seconds and stir it until it's smooth and melted. Then place that into a plastic bag, cut a little bit off the corner, and to make the sticks on top of Olaf's head, pipe the chocolate onto a bag of frozen veggies. By piping it here and not onto a flat surface, it makes them look more like sticks because they're not completely flat. Obviously, they've got little twists and turns to them. Pipe plenty of extra ones, and that way you can, number 1, choose the best ones for your cake, but number 2, when you serve the cake, you can give everyone some of the chocolate. Make sure when you're piping them you make them longer than you need, so you can poke it into the top of the head and it's still the right length sticking up over the top. To make the coal for our buttons, take the middle out of some Oreos and then crush the biscuit part up using a rolling pin. Bring the crumbs together into a pile and then using your finger make a coal-sized little hole in the centre. Then fill that with your melted chocolate and repeat that 2 more times. If you're new to How to Cook That, then make sure you watch the videos on tempering chocolate and what chocolate to use for decorations. I'll link to them in the description below as well. It's important that you watch those if you don't work with chocolate regularly, so that you understand how to make sure that your sticks on top of the head and the arms don't just collapse at room temperature. Place a piece of baking paper over your printout and pipe some eyebrows. Again, do more than one so you can choose the best ones afterwards. Then do the same thing for your arms. If you're using tempered chocolate, then leave it at room temperature to set. If you're using compound or fake chocolate, then you can just put that in the fridge or freezer to set. To make the nose, take 6 orange Starburst lollies, unwrap them and put them in the microwave for about 10 seconds. This will make them soft so you can squash them all together. Roll it between the palms of your hand to make a carrot shape, and then pull one end to extend a piece so that you can poke that into the head. On some non-stick paper, run the knife around the carrot, making those indented lines that they have, and then leave that to cool and firm up. If you can't get Starburst lollies where you live, then you could use fondant for that step instead. To make our eyes, take 10 marshmallows and heat them up in the microwave in 10-second bursts until they're melted like this. Then keep adding icing sugar and mixing it in until it's firm enough to knead into a ball. This will make more than you need, and you can colour it and then use it for the nose if you don't have Starbursts. To make the eyeballs exactly the same size, roll a ball, then cut it in half, and then roll each half into an eyeball. For the centre of the eye, I'm using store-bought black fondant. You can use licorice or you can use chocolate here if you prefer. Roll it out and cut 2 circles using straws and place them onto the centre of each eye. Then roll the tiniest balls of white that you can and add them to the side of each eye to give that glisten. Then roll out some more black fondant and wrap it around the top half of each eyeball, a bit like the eyelid. Back to our cake. Using your knife, make room for the carrot and poke it into the head. Then add your eyeballs nice and close to the nose. Mix some of the black and white fondant together to make grey, roll it out flat and cut it into a mouth shape, and then place that into place on the cake. Now add extra Italian meringue around the eyes at the top, just between the eyes and the sides, and smooth that off, and then add your eyebrows. Now add the twigs to the top of his head, and when you're doing that, look at the picture that you've got of Olaf and try and get them in a similar position so that it looks just like the character. Now poke in his arms. Then brush the excess Oreo crumbs off your coal and add your lumps to the front of the cake. Then make a rectangle of white fondant and push it into place for his teeth. You can see here the bottom foot has squashed right down, which is why I said you really need to add support there. If you're making a bigger Olaf cake, then you'll need to add in 2 supports, one between the foot and the body and another one between the body and the head. Click on the link here to go to the channel and watch the minion cake for how to add supports on a standing up cake, and also you can watch the chocolate videos if you're new to working with chocolate, or check out all the other videos we have there. Thanks for clicking like and sharing this Olaf video. Subscribe to How to Cook That for more cakes, chocolates and desserts, and add all your requests in the comments below. I'll see you Friday. Have a great week.